Hi friends. So today we are going to learn about Pymongo. What is Pymongo? So Pymongo is the driver for MongoDB. MongoDB is a NoSQL database, which is also called as a document database, since it saves the data or the records in JSON format. Now, Pymongo is a module which is a way of Python connecting with MongoDB to do the queries. So first thing is you have to make sure that you have imported this library. You can do that by using pip installer. Pip install and the package name, it would install that package in your environment from wherever you have to use this. Second thing is once you have the Pymongo, you need to connect to the Mongo client. Now you might be aware about the server and client. So MongoDB is a NoSQL database server which I'm running locally, and it is running on port 27017. So here we have the connection string. Connection string says what is your basically this is called as the protocol. Then you have the host name, then you have the port, and then you might have the ID and the password. Basically everything makes as a connection string. Right now I'm running it locally and it's unauthenticated, which means you don't need any ID and password. So this is your connection string. Once you do that successfully, once the connections get established, you will find that my client object will have the client object created. Now there are various ways to use that client to create your database, to list out the database names, etc., etc. You can do a lot of things here. So let me run this. So once I run this, this is the name of the database which got here, and this is the list of all the databases, right? So now let's go to the next step. You got the database name here. Now we will try to create the collection, and then we will do the CRUD operation, which means that you will have the database, and then you will have the collections. Basically collection is nothing but the synonym for the table, and then we will do the CRUD operations. So without any further delay, let's try to insert a record. To insert a record, this is very straightforward. Basically, what you need to do is you have to create a dictionary here. So this is my dictionary. This is also called as the object. Now your object basically would have the key and the value, just like that, right? So this is your field name, this is the value. This is the field name, this is the value. Now to insert, it is very simple basically. So what you will do is you will assign a variable. Now you have to get this is your database, so you have to get the customer table or customer collection. So you can do it like this here. This would be my DB customers. So now with MongoDB, what happens is once you name whatever is your table name, if it doesn't exist, it creates it. If it exists, then it connects it, which makes things very straightforward and simple. So now once we do, now based on the MongoDB you're trying to connect, there are several methods. So you have to, at the time when you're watching this, you have to see what version, what method name is being supported. For me here, the insert is supported. So as soon as I do this, it has inserted this record basically. And each record has the underscore ID field, which is basically the unique identifier for that record. And then that record you can query based on that UUID, which is the unique ID or the primary ID by which you can retrieve the record. So let's try to print the inserted ID basically here. Or you can just print Actually, when you will try to print X, this is your unique ID. Basically, this got printed. Now, if you have to insert multiple documents, like multiple records, how would you do that? This is also straightforward. So if I have a list of customers, instead of inserting one document, I have all these customers. This is each customer with its name and address. Yes. So in MongoDB, if you will try to insert this, and let's see what happens. So it has inserted all the records and it has printed the object ID for all of these, right? Now what we will do is, since we have inserted the record, now we will try to find the records, basically, whatever we have inserted so far. So what I'll do is I will comment this so that we don't keep on inserting the same records over and over again, and we will try to query these results. So to query, first thing is there is a method which is called as find one. So what find one will do is it will find any of the records randomly from all these customers. So you have this collection now. How this collection we got here is from the database. We named a collection. We have given the name of the collection, which is the table name, which is assigned to this variable. And then we said find one. Let's see what happens. It is able to grab that record fully based on, like, this was random actually. So first we got John, and then it has been cached. So probably this will always, pull up John, because it is just showing you one sample. One more thing I want to emphasize here is that in SQL, you have to have the column name fixed. Otherwise, it doesn't allow to insert. But here it is dynamic schema. So you don't have to define the schema first, like the column names. For example, for this customer, if I have a field which is called as age, I can insert that, right? I am inserting. So what do you think? Would it get inserted or no? Yeah, that is the beauty, that you can grow this in whatever way you want, right? Now what we will do is, for example, I will say Aseem here. So I want this has not been inserted yet because we haven't clicked this here, insert, right? Now if I will insert here, this is calling. Now what I want is I want to query. So when I say find one, when you are trying to get one document, I will pass a JSON object which has the filter. Filter means get all the records with name as Aseem. So it will find one record wherein this criteria, query criteria, matches. So now I got that, and you see age is 16. So it got inserted basically here. So sometimes what happens that I don't want to grab the address, and I only want to grab the name and the age. I don't want to grab this. How that can be done? That is called as projection. So what do I do is, this is a method. This takes argument. So first argument is the filter. Second argument is the projection. How projection works is, you will give the small object and you will give the field name. For example, I don't want to show the address. So what I'll say, 0. So MongoDB will understand that he wants a record which has the name as Aseem and which does not have, like, you don't want to show the address. So you don't see the address. Now underscore ID also, it sometimes doesn't looks neat. So So what you can do is you will say underscore ID and you will say 0. So this will also suppress that in the results. This looks clean. So when you send the data and you pull from MongoDB, you don't have to pull all the records. What you can do is you can use projection. So I will say projection. I can do like two things here. I will say with projection, and here I will say without projection, which means that if I would remove the projection, then the record would look like this. It has all the fields, whatever is in that JSON document. But when I use projection, it would give me the fields which I want, and it would suppress the field wherever I have 0, like this. Got it? So now we will try to go and we will try to find all the records instead of finding one. How can you do that? So instead of saying this, you can just say find, and here you can name it as result underscore set. So when you have result underscore set over here, now you have to print it, right? Now once we print result set, is it going to give you all the results? So the problem is when you have find one, it will give you one JSON. But when there are multiple records, it will give you the object, iterable object, and not the result. So you see here, this is called as the cursor. You have to iterate the cursor to grab the result. So what you will do here is, basically what you will do is you have to do for loop. You will say for record in result set, and then you will go here and you will say print record. So it will go and it will start iterating whatever are the number of results in here, and it will print it. See, I have two records with the same name. I intentionally inserted it here. Now what I'll do is I can find all the people. I don't have to filter on Aseem. Now you see all the records of all the customers over here. You have the name of everyone over here, but you don't get address, you don't get age. If you will do address as 1 and underscore ID as 0, you will also get the address. Basically, whenever you say 1, it would grab those fields. So I am going to do name. So these are the two columns which would be returned. I have the name and I have the address. So I don't want to go much detail in here, but this was just to give you an idea. And by doing any documentation read, you can just find. I told you how to store. I also told you how to find. So these are the two most common use cases which will be needed. Now let's move and let's try to do the advanced query basically. So what does the advanced query mean? Advanced query means wherein you can do filtration based on some condition which is called as regex. Regex means regular expression wherein you want to find the name of the customer, which is, for example, which starts with S or something, right? Or the name starts with some criteria. Let's try to dig into that. Here I am saying that wherever the address, and this is regular expression, this says wherever the field value starts with capital S, for example, here. So I will do the run, and it got all the records wherein the address starts with capital S. Like it did not pick green, it just picked S, capital S. So this is called as a complex query. This is very much needed whenever you will do your CRUD operation or the small project. You might have to find some result on the complex queries, which you can do something like this. You could always use greater than wherever the age, right? So let's say if you will do wherever age is greater than, so you say $GT greater than, and you can say 13 years. So get me all the records where age is greater than 13. So you see two records of Aseem Jain because we inserted this record where age is greater than 16. But if you will say wherever the age is greater than 90, are we going to get any records? No? Okay, so I run it, I don't get any. Correct. So these are simple operators. Why we have given this, I'll tell you. So first is the age field. Now what you want to do with age field? For example, you want all the record where age is 16. This is very straightforward and simple. So what you are going to do is you will say 16. This will carry you exact record where its age is 16. If you write 18, this will get you just one record with age 18. We don't have anything right now here. But if you want to do the greater operation or whatever, then it is called as the nested query. So you have the query inside this, you can use different operators. Less than is another operator. So you can say less than equal to LT. So wherever the data is less than 18, you can do the query and you found the record. So let's go next, and let's try to figure out let's try to learn the sorting, and then we will learn the delete and update. So this is also very easy. What we are going to do here is we are going to sort all our results based on the name. So once we run this, you see all the names, but they would start from, this is reverse sorted, like William, and then this way it is coming. If you want first record as Aseem, you will do sort, and when you run, the first record is actually Amy because AM comes before ASB, like that. Sorting is another important feature which is used in the projects. Now we will see how to delete a document. So for deletion, what we will do is we need to do simple query here. So let me comment out this part. Let me try to do it here. So what I have is wherever the address meets mountain 21, I want my collection.delete, and then I will say wherever this query matches, just delete. So for reference, let's see, we have multiple records with mountain 1. Now let's run this. So it is saying it cannot find. So let's try to do delete underscore 1. I guess this query has been deprecated. So it is saying collection object does not have this. Let's try remove, and then we'll try remove 1. Yeah, so remove worked. Now what we will do here is, let's try to do it here. So first we will remove and then we will print based on the sorting. So now we have the mountain 21 has been removed. All the records for mountain 21 has been removed. So here we see that sideway this record is there. So if we want to remove all the records where the address matches sideways, we will find it in the query. We will say my collection dot remove. My collection is nothing but the table name with the customer, like it's the customer table or customer collection. And then we will say remove. So this listing would get rid of the Violo, whatever is it. So now our Violo records are being gone here. We can always search, so we find nothing. Now we have learned how to delete. Now we will learn how to update. Update is also very easy. What we want to do is I have to update a record in the table. So let's remove this. Let's put it here. And I'm saying my query, wherever the address is this, change that address and make the new values as Kenyan 123. So first of all, let's find if we have these records. Yes, we have these 3 records. And we want to set the new value as this. So my collection dot update one, you have to give the old value. Old value means the filter. And second is the new value, wherein you will do $set operator and you will give it the value which you want to update there. So if this value exists, this field exists, it would update it, otherwise it would add it. That is called as upsert. So once we do that, seems like it doesn't have update one. So we'll try to do update and it has updated. So let's see if we have Canyon. So since this got updated, let's search for valley first. So technically this should get updated, but let's see. Yeah, my collection dot update old value and then we have new value. Oh, so it updated one record. So we see Kenyan 123. Now if we run it one more time, it would update another record for this. Right? Now we got 2 records updated. Now all our records have been updated. So if we search here for valley, you will not find. But if you will see for Kenyan, you will find it here. So I hope you might have enjoyed this tutorial wherein we have learned about Pymongo. So just to do a quick recap, what we did in this lecture is we got Pymongo driver installed. We got the connection for the Mongo client. Based on the Mongo client, we connected to the database. If database doesn't exist, it creates one. If it exists, it assigns the connection to MyDB variable. From the variable, we grab the collection or the table name. So you give the table name that assigns here. Once you have this my collection, you can insert the record. You can use projection basically to grab selected fields or to suppress selected field. Then we did the query basically by doing find one. After inserting, we learned about deletion and then we learned about updation. So as part of this tutorial, we learned all the CRUD operations. I am going to share the GitHub link wherein you can also find these queries. which will be helpful once you want to run this on your local machine. If you face any questions like issues or problems, feel free to reach out to me and leave the comment. Thanks. My name is Aseem Jain and I am a certified MongoDB program. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye and take care.